What's up, good people? Gordon Holman here from Kodiak Edge and Bladesmithing. I have a customer's knife here that I'm going to show you how I go about carving the spine. I'm going to do a floral vine pattern on the spine, and it'll carry out throughout the blade. This is an Uncle Henry by Charade, and I got it disassembled here just about, and I'm going to take this apart and vise it up, lay it out, and show you how I carve the spines on them. Okay, folks, first of all, you have to lay out the spine lock, and there's several ways I do this. I've done them so much with the Dremel tool, it's basically all I use. I use this rounding bit, and I use the cutting wheel for the Dremel tool. You can certainly do it by hand, which consists of using a round over file. This one's from an 1/8 inch up to about 3/8, which is about perfect. You can do them by hand with that, and then the cuts and the stems are done with a triangular file. And then to finish them cuts off, I use a filing edged flat file. I'll show you a little bit of both with the Dremel in them. But first, you start out by laying it out. You can go. I usually either go in 10mm increments or 1/2 inch increments. So I will use the millimeters. And when I do this, I start at the front where it meets the blade, so I got the same distance here as I do on the blade. So I actually want to go 5mm in, make a dot, and then I go proceed from there 10mm each one. So I'll put 10 dots, or one every 10mm. I can't find my fine point Sharpie, so I'm just going to use this one. I'm doing this 10mm all the way down the lock spine. Okay, and then when I get done carving the one side, I'll flip this and do the other side, and I'll alternate them. So I'll start out, you'll see me do it when I get to it. You know, one there, one here. So that's that. Now I'll just start with this over here, since it's closest to me and it's hanging over, so I got the room to cut out my half circle. So I'll take these half circles to the halfway point on this lock back spine. I just eyeball it till I get it to about the halfway point. Go at about a, I don't know, 30 to 35 degree angle on this. Some people go 45 and make it deeper, but I don't. As long as they're symmetrically the same, you stop at the halfway point. I'm probably a little bit past the halfway point, but it doesn't really matter as long as you get your next row in between it about the same. So I'll go ahead and do this all the way up, and I'll show you what I done. Okay, now you can see I got my half rounds in here every 10 millimeters. I'm going to lay it out now. You can see I put the first dot here at 5 millimeters from that one. So halfway point, 5 millimeters, and then 10, 10, 10, 10, which gives you the halfway point between each one. So they stagger 5 millimeters apart. Like I said, this would be done with this file if you're going to file these by hand. You'd use your file. You can even clean them up, do whatever you want with the files after using the Dremel. I just use the Dremel, I've done enough of them, so. Alright, I got these first two dots on there. I showed you before. I'll set this up and start my 10 millimeters dots. If you go too far, just erase it and do it again. I need a finer point Sharpie, but I'm pretty good at eyeballing this even without the marks. So 5 millimeters or 10 millimeters apart on both sides gives you a 5 millimeter stagger interval. You kind of see what I'm doing here. Half moons here, half moons there, half moons. Then we'll cut the vine stems in afterwards. So I'll do a few of them, and then I'll pause and get her done. Okay, like I said, these would be done with this round over file if you're doing it by hand. Now folks, these don't have to be perfect. I mean, you'll make adjustments as you're doing it. You can eyeball. Make sure you just got like a nice swirl pattern going there. Okay, now I'll shut off the camera and finish the rest of this side and come back. Okay, now you can see what I did. I got my half rounds on both sides, and this side is 10 millimeters apart. Once again, this side is 10 millimeters apart, but they're staggered 5 millimeters apart. Okay, and that's done with either the Dremel tool rounding bit or the round over file. Okay, if you don't have a Dremel tool, you can use files, no problem on this. It's a little harder on a tempered spine. This customer Actually, the Schrade blade wasn't bad at all. The locking slot is fine, but the lock back spine was wore out, so I had to make a new one, and this is out of 1084. He's going to have to keep it oiled, but I'll probably do an acid stone wash on it, and then the vines I'll sand the vines out to pop through. So anyways, that's done. Now the next process is either, if you're doing it by hand, I'll lay it out first, but you want to cut a slot in on a slight angle on this side and then on this side. And I'll show you what I mean. And then I'm going to cut it out with the Dremel tool here, with the round cutter. So I just eyeball this. On one side you want to put the marks where you're going to cut your slots in the front of it, front of every half round. I just eyeball these with the Dremel tool. I'm just showing you how you lay it out. And then on the other side you'll do the same thing, except for on this side you're going to go on the opposite side. So you'll start your dots on this side. Cut your slats out for the vines on this side. Okay, so I'll start cutting this out and I'll be back. Okay, start cutting these slats in. I go on a slight angle here. You don't want to go straight, kind of like a vine, slight angle. Like I said, you don't have to really go for perfection on this. I mean, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, the nicer it'll look. But if you want to get it dead nuts nice the first time, precision on laying this out is key. Now I'll do the other side in the back of it. But I'll flip it around first. Now I'm going to put the slots behind the half round. And over here it's on the opposite side, it's on the front. Doesn't take long. As you can see, the vine pattern starting to appear. Okay, that's done. Now, if you was to do this with your files, you'd have the triangular file here, you can see. And you go on a slight angle, like I said, and cut some slots in like that. In fact, if you got both, you can fine tune the Dremel in that. Okay, now I'll take the same round cutting tool and I'll start rounding. What I want to do is start rounding over, okay, all my transitions, round them over. So when you start doing it, it's going to start looking more like a vine. You'll see it as I'm doing it. See here, nice flowing curves up to the vine stem. Nice flowing curve up to the vine stem. So you're basically knocking off all these round points almost. You don't want it to be sharp. You want it to curve, curve, curve. Everything flows curved. I'll finish the rest of this and I'll get back. Okay, now I rounded over all these half round transitions. Nice smooth curves going all the way around. You can see I didn't do the other side yet. You see how the half rounds come to a sharp point at the vine? Well, at the vine thorn, actually they call it. You want to round that over, and then the half round that over. You can see it. Here's the vine thorn. It's rounded over here, and then the half round is rounded to it. Everything's rounded over now at this point. So I'll flip this around and do the other side, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I decided to show you how you do this with this flat file. Now this has got the edge has a filing, and then both sides are flat. So if you want to round them over, you can do it with this by hand, and you can use this one, but I like to use the triangular. The triangular usually seems to get it the best for me. If you don't have a Dremel, this is what you'd use, the files. You see that's nice and rounded over now. Same thing here. From the vine thorn, round that over. The half round transition, round that over. This triangular gets right in that vine thorn real nice, and you can alter the depth or the length of it. Get your curve going now. See how sharp that makes that thorn look? And I'm essentially, with the flat side of this triangular, getting rid of these rounded over edges. Okay, same here. I'm going in with the angled part into the vine thorn, tilting it both directions. Make that start to curve. You know, in nature, nothing's exact anyway, so you don't have to really work on perfection on this. As long as it looks smoothly, you get all your transitions done. See how nice and curved it's starting to appear? Okay, I'll do the rest of this and show you when I'm done. Okay, now you can see, if I can get this to focus really good. Everything flows smoothly and curves. Like I said, nothing in nature is exact, so you know, just get them nice and rounded over, and you know, when you sand this down, it'll look nice and smooth and beautiful. Okay, now next I'm going to show you how to take this end into the blade. You can see where I left off here. Now I'm going to put a half moon on the blade when this comes together. And that's why I went 5 millimeters from the end of the blade to here. Okay. Now I'll start one here. That'll be 5 millimeters from that one, which will be 10 from here. And then I'll come to about here, and I'll put an arrowhead point in the front of it. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I got the blade in there, and here's where the spine locks to it. So I got it laid out 10 millimeters from that one. 10, 10, 10, 10, and I'll stop. I'm going to do an arrowhead here. From this one, 10, 10, 10, 10. And again, they're 5 millimeters apart. So I'll start carving these. And this is a hardened blade, so it's going to take a little bit longer. This you want to try to get as symmetrical as possible, because you're going to see the blade in the open position, unlike the lock spine. Okay, turn that over and do the other side. And it might want to, rest here and let it cool off a little bit. But this is far enough up from the actual cutting edge that you're not really heating up the tempered edge that much, hardly at all. Okay. Okay, that matches. Let's go through this as fast as I can without pausing the video. Now I'll cut in all my forward and backwards vine thorns. Okay, see where I'm at here. Thorns go behind on this side. Yep, behind on this side. You'll see why I'm doing this in a second. Okay, we're behind, now we go in front. Double check. Again, you can touch them up with the triangular file if you like. Give it a little more depth, more control. And now finally, getting rid of the roundovers. getting rid of the sharp corners at the half round. Making it appear to look like a vine. You can see it coming together. I'll turn this over and do the other side. She's almost done. Got a light touch doing this. It's something you get used to doing as you do it. You can practice on 1/8 inch, 3/8, 3/16, or 1/4 inch stock. If you're not comfortable doing it on a blade right away. After a few of them, you'll start getting a feel for this tool. Like I said, you can either do it by hand or use a Dremel, but all in all, if you ain't that accurate with the Dremel, you come back with the files and clean her up. Or just do the whole thing with the files. Alright, now, right here in the front, I'm going to put an arrowhead on. I'll do this by hand. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'll show you with the file. Yeah, I'll switch it out. Dremel tool out. It's not too long of a video, so. I'm not that talented yet. Almost there. Can you see what I'm doing? Now to make the point of the arrowhead. This is better off suited for the flat file. Got the triangular one here. You can see I'm starting to make an arrowhead point here. This is my trademark to my vines on my blades. This is what I like to do. You don't have to do this. You can just stop it abruptly at a circle. But on the blades, I think this looks pretty sharp. A little easier on the end there. Almost there. That's about got it. I'll clean it up afterwards, but you can see here I got a straight line across there and then like an arrowhead here at the end. That's just a trademark of me. That's what I like doing, and sand that down, clean it up. I'll get this together and show you real quick here in a sec.